Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and I thought I would update you guys on what I'm currently reading right now. So I am almost done with Sarah Waters' is The Paying Guest. This is such a fascinating, fun little story. A little bit of a mystery. Well, actually, it's not really a mystery, but it's at this point, it's a mystery to everybody else what's going on in the plot. But, if you've read the book, I'm hoping you know what I'm talking about, if you've read it. So far, I am really loving Sarah Waters and her writing style and her storytelling. It's so fun, and I can't wait to read, I can't wait to read, her other books that I have. I bought The Night Watch and Tipping the Velvet, so I can't wait for that. She reminds me of Kate Morton in her lyrical, flowery writing style, but not too much. You don't get lost in the flowery writing, you know what's going on, you can picture it. And despite the fact how the romance comes about, and this is as I said in a previous video, this is kind of like what if you watch the show Scandal, starring Kerry Washington, although I think that one's off the air now. I think it already ended, but that one is, they have someone working for the president who does with the scandal in the president's life to make sure no one knows about it. And she is played by Kerry Washington in the show, and she's having an affair with the president, and his wife is kind of a bitch. Not that that excuses having an affair and cheating on your spouse. It definitely does not. But it's it's kind of like that where, my mom was saying how, in a way, you kind of root for Olivia and the president. I can't remember the character's name because I don't really watch the show. I just hear about it from my mom. In a messed up way. And the same thing with Grey's Anatomy, too. In a messed up way, you kind of do root for them. Those, even if they're doing a very immoral, a very bad thing, and that's how it is with this book. Our romantic couple in this book is, the way they're going about it is wrong. It's immoral, but it's still, you kind of root for them. You want them to be together, but I also know that with a book like this, considering the situation, there's no way this could end happy. Or at least it's going to leave a bitter taste in their mouths even if this works out in the end for them. Their relationship is going to be tainted forever, I imagine. It's sad because, they feel like they kind of, this is the only way they can be together, this couple, and they already are going to be judged because it's two women, and this is in the 1920s. So they shouldn't, so being that way was frowned upon and judged, and people were thought it was unnatural for people to be like that. So it's even worse for this couple. But it's such a beautiful story. Like I said, I love Sarah Waters' writing. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm eager to find out what happens. Like I said, I don't see it ending happy. Even if it's bitter, even if it's somewhat happy ending, it's gonna be bittersweet, I feel like. But I can't wait to see how everything works out. See if it works out in their favor or not. And you see, I'm almost done. A good chunk left to read, but of course the problem is some of the chapters, even if there's not a lot of chapters, they're very, very long chapters. I look for breaks in between. This is what I mean when I say in books that I try, if the chapters are really long, I try to find breaks where it's like this, where it's a new paragraph, but it's a new scene. But, yes. So, I'm currently reading that one. I also started reading Heart of Betrayal, which is the second book in the Remnant Chronicles, because this is a series that, as much as I'm enjoying it, I'm not, in love with the series. But, of course, I've only read the first book, so maybe I'll change my mind, but, I have to make room on my shelf for other series. And, I have to draw a line somewhere. Of course, like I said, I only read the first book, so I will probably fall in love with this trilogy and want to keep it because I gave away my Lunar Chronicles. Of course, I gave them to a good person, one of my best friends. I want to read. Of course, she hasn't had time to read it because she went back to school and took. But I ended up feeling like, oh, I want to rebuy them, so I rebought the whole series. But so I'm not very far into it though. Like I'm only on chapter 4. But the good news, because this is YA, the chapters are very brief. They don't take as long to read, and I don't know how to use my bookmark. This is a bookmark that I think my mom got me. It's a very interesting bookmark. Let me see. So it's like this. And I don't know how to use it. I think this part with my initial is supposed to be on marking the page that I stopped at. I don't know though. So that's how I've been going about it. Like I've been marking the page with my the dangly thing with my initial. So I don't have a lot to say about this one. All I have to say is, well, I can't really say because it would spoil for Kiss of Deception, but so far some interesting things have happened, so I really can't, like I said, I can't really say anything. So this one I'm probably going to finish first. But then I'm thinking about other books as well, naturally. So I'm currently buddy reading this. I mean, I'm a little ahead of her. Buddy reading this with Terry. North and South by Elizabeth Glasscoll. Which is kind of an Industrial Revolution retelling of Pride and Prejudice. That's how it's described as. And I remember I loved the miniseries. I fell in love with the miniseries. In fact, I preferred over Pride and Prejudice, but I have not seen the Colin Firth one, the BBC version. I've only seen bits and pieces on like YouTube videos that people have made with like showing clips from romantic movies and the music, and so I haven't actually watched it, but I have the Keira Knightley version, which was great. I think it's a great version. I don't know if everyone else does, but I still prefer this one, but I have not read the book. So this is my second time starting it, so I'm hoping that a buddy read will motivate me. And Terry, who has been trying to find another mini-series or period drama to get into, she discovered, well, I had first told her about it, but then it has been a while, and she of course she forgot. She can forget, So one day she found it on Netflix and started watching it, which and she talked about how much she fell in love with the story and how great it is. Of course, me being a brat was all disgruntled because I'm like, I was the one who told you about that. But anyway, so another friend of hers was like a friend that actually lives in Florida that she was able to get together with, told her that she had the book and gave her copy. So now we can read it together. Although, as I said, I already started it months ago, and then I took a break from it because it's not the most exciting book. So I took a break, and I've currently come back to it, but I'm ahead of her. Unfortunately, the current chapter I'm on is long, and I start to fall asleep when I was reading it, so I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break, because I don't want to miss anything, or, fall asleep on the same word. So, I'm currently on the chapter where, what chapter number? 15. I think it would be 15. I'm not good with reading Roman numerals, and that's how they're labeled, the chapter numbers. They're Roman numerals. So I think it's 15. So, I only read a couple pages of that chapter, but in my defense, I read chapter 14 before it. So the families have met and everything, and, Margaret's mother is a little sick. I think she has depression. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, although I think when I was watching clips for the miniseries, in the comment section, I think someone said that she probably has the mother, Margaret's mother, has depression. So I'm guessing, I don't know if that's the case or not, but it makes sense. But of course, this is the time period where they don't know about that. So they just think she's really, well, depression, you are, well, I don't know, maybe, well, no, that would probably, I don't want to come off as offensive here to say this, so I'm not going to say it. But they just think she's just sick, she's ill. So I don't know if, but, well, I don't know if you would consider depression when you have depression an illness. I'm not sure. I don't want to be offensive or anything, so just someone, if you've had experience with it, you can respond and let me know what is when you go through depression, is that considered an illness? An illness? So I'm reading that with Terry. And I also got back to reading more of the Bane Chronicles, because I think, as much as I love Cassandra Clare, I think I'm going to get into the habit. I'm going to get the next series in her books. I'm still going to buy her books, but then I think I might just, because it will be a long time before they come to the library, I think. So I'm just, well, maybe not. Like I said, I'm trying not to utilize my library anyway, because there's so many books that from my own personal collection that I've neglected. So, but I think I'm just going to get in a habit of going through the books and reading them, and then eventually, and then sending them to be donated to the bookstore, which, as I said in the past, I personally think I'm doing them a favor. Because, I mean, not that donating, not that I'm trying to be like, ooh, donate, I'm doing them a favor by donating my books, but more like, they don't have a lot of YA, so I've been giving them my YA books. Like, I gave them the Mortal Instruments and Infernal Devices, and I could get them from the bookstore if I want, from the library if I want to, or I can rebuy them. But as I've said before, I'm trying to make room, so I'm going to read this one, and then I'm going to donate it, or put it in the bag to be donated. So I just finished the story, The Midnight Air, the short story, The Midnight Air, where you meet James Harrendale, and then this one is the Rise of the Hotel du Mort, which I guess is the beginnings of the Hotel du Mort. If you remember, it's a hotel where Raphael Santiago's, where his clan of vampires lived in the Mortal Instruments. And then the next story will actually be the introduction of Raphael to Magnus, and then after that will be about when Dumort falls, the fall of Hotel Dumort. So I can't wait. And I just, watching the show, Raphael seems compared to the book, he seems so much more likable and lovable, and you kind of feel bad for him. Not that I didn't feel bad from the book, but I just feel more sympathy towards him in the show. Funny enough, unfortunately, the show's canceled, but as I've said before in previous videos, I'm kind of not surprised. So I'm currently reading that one, and really, my books just fell. Paperbacks. I am also reading more short stories from Get in Trouble, Kelly Link's wonderful collection of short stories, which, I'm sorry, but I get confused. Her stories are so out there and so surreal and full of magical realism that they're confusing. I mean, I have no problem with magical realism, or at least I don't think I do. Like, I love the Raven Cycle, and that's magical realism. And there was a magical realism story we read in one of my English classes in college, and I had no problem with that one. Well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I was entirely paying attention when we were reading that one, because it was early in the morning class, and I was still tired. But I'm like, they talk about how great she is, and yet, I'm confused. I don't understand her stories. But I'm gonna read her Stranger Things Happen, and I'm hoping maybe I'll have better luck with this one, because And then I think I'm just going to donate this one to the bookstore when I'm done with it. Like I said, I want to finish it, but I'm going to donate it to the bookstore when I'm done with it. So I just finished Origin Story, which is, from what I gather, it's these two teenagers that are best friends that are talking about the origins of other superheroes and their origins, and I don't know. It was weird. And then the next one is The Lesson, which is, it sounds like from what I found on Goodreads that it's about a gay couple. And I think they're wanting to adopt or something. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like, am I missing something? So I did find other people who had like other negative reviews, so it made me feel a little less guilty for not liking this book. So I hope the bookmarks didn't fall. Okay, that bookmark. Yep. The good thing about the bookmarks I have on there is they're secure. They're not like these ones where they come out. And then let's see. I'm also currently reading. Okay, so there are those are the books I'm kind of in the middle of, but another book I want to read, and there are other books that I've started that I just got, like The Winter People, Ali Smith's Autumn, The Essex Serpent, The Lives of Locke Lamora. Those are some of the books that I've kind of started, but I'm currently not reading them, and I'm sure there are plenty of others here. But I also had the urge to read this one as well, The Explorers Guild, Volume 1. Which, funnily enough, it's one of the writers for this book is Kevin Costner, the actor, I guess. I don't know any other Kevin Costners in the world. So, I mean, and there are other authors that do, other actors that do that, like Sarah Jessica Parker. And Bill Clinton is working with James Patterson. I guess that's the new trend. Actors working with writers to write books. Not just memoirs or autobiographies or biographies, but actual fiction. So I guess writing stuff that they are really passionate about, which it's cool because it means that they are readers. Even if they don't have time to read, they are passionate about books. And they try to make time for reading, which that is nice. It makes me feel good. But actors that I like that might also take the time to read a book, even though they're so busy with their careers. But I've had this is one I got from the bookstore. And I've been wanting to read it. I mean, but I also felt the urge to read it because I'm trying to narrow down and get rid of books, as I've said before. But then but every time I look at it, I'm thinking, I'm not going to want to get rid of this book, even if I read it, unless I just really don't like it. It's so pretty, and it's an adventure story, which I love adventure stories. I feel like I don't read enough of them. And look at, first of all, the pages, the coloring of the pages, and there's also illustrations, which is really cool, and let me find it. There's this as well, but like a comic strip kind of thing, like old comic strips, which is I think it's so cool how this is the way this book is set up. It's one of these books I feel like I'm gonna want to keep it and read it again at some point. And this volume 1, so there's a volume 2 out there somewhere. So I'll have to. This will probably be one of those books, unless I find it at Books A Million. This is probably gonna be one of those books where I'm gonna have to get volume 2 online, like on Amazon or Books A Million or something. But yep, I want to read this one. So that is my current reading update. Oh, and I also read the first chapter of Mice and Men in this edition. Because I've been wanting to reread it because I feel like I didn't really appreciate it before. So when I read it in middle school for assigned reading. So I've just read the first chapter, because even though it's a short book, the chapters are really long. That's the problem with short books. is they make the chapters long to compensate for the novel being short. So, what are you currently reading right now? Are you not reading anything? Is there anything did you just finish a book? Is there a book you're eager to start reading? Well, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already. Much love to my already subscribed people. And I hope you continue to enjoy your reading. Alright, bye!